This is a speedy, quick run through for Comical Critters. So we are going to make some cute little animals with the kids. Here are some examples. We want them to have probably big heads because big heads are more cute. Think about a baby. Their head is 1/3 of their body size, where an adult it's like 1/7. So we want them to have big heads, small bodies, and some details that are kind of funny, maybe something a little bit human like a scarf or a hat or something like that. So we are going to start with 1 pound of clay. It's about the size of a tennis ball. And we are going to knead the clay because it's going to be very stiff when the kids get it. If they just work with it, squeeze it, one hand to the other, just keep squeezing it, it'll warm up and be easier to work with. Better that they use their hands that are warm than rolling it around on the desk. Okay, then I think it's good to show the kids the 3 basic forms for making things with clay. The first and most used, most important is a ball. And you can roll that between your hands or on the desk. The other is a coil, which you can roll back and forth in your hands, and a slab, which kind of requires a rolling pin or something like that. Okay, so now back to our animal. We're going to start with the big ball and we're going to roll it around till it's nice and round. And then we're going to just use our hand and divide it as closely as we can in half. Then from one of those 2 halves, we're going to just remove a pinch, a biggish pinch, and that will be used for making features like wings or beaks or tails or ears or whatever it is. Then we'll take the smaller half and we'll start with the ball, but then we'll start to gently roll it like a coil and a little bit at an angle. So we're going to end up with a cone where the neck is the skinny end and the fat end of the cone will be where their feet are. Then we're going to set that down and we'll take the big half and we'll roll a nice round ball for the head. Now, after we get them together, we can reshape the head however we want. We can make it a horse or a cat or it doesn't have to stay round, but we're going to start that way. When we get those 2 halves about like we want them, we'll maybe smooth out. You can dip your fingers in water and smooth out the cracks and stuff. And then we're going to join them. So I like to use a toothbrush and you make slip. Slip's a good vocabulary word for the kids. With a little bit of clay and water. So they'll dip their toothbrush in some water and roughen up both surfaces, and then we kind of screw on the head and use our thumbs to really join it till we don't see that seam anymore. And that should take a little while. We need to really, work with our form and smooth out the lumps and make it, just about like what we want. Then we have our basics, and we can do things like adding the legs. We can use our popsicle stick to kind of make a divider between their front legs. We can use a ball for each of the feet. I kind of make 1 ball and break it in half, trying to get them to be about the same size. Remember, every time we join, we use the toothbrush to make some slip. Now, it's going to be a judgment call. I would say for smaller things, you might be able to pinch them out. For larger, you're going to want to create separate items and join them. So let's think if you're making a cat or an owl and you want some pointy tips on the head, you could just pinch those out from the existing head. But if you're going to make an elephant or you want wings on your owl, those should be made separately and joined. You might choose to pinch out the nose or add a separate nose that is a little triangle, let's say for a cat. It's nice to use your thumbs to make eye sockets, and then you can add oversized eyes. That makes them more cute and more comical. It's cute to add a couple layers. You could even put eyeglasses on your animal. Just be sure anything that you add is joined with slip. Another kind of thing I like to use is to let the kids have scissors. And if you turn them sideways, you can cut out the mouth. And that's a great way to get a mouth into your animal. Don't forget to turn your critter around and add a tail. You can also add little marks for fur. Use your toothpick to make eyeballs. You could make them cross-eyed or whatever. Also nostrils or whiskers, just all those little details that make things cute. And that's it. I hope it's fun.